Peg, another thing that I remember that we used to do was on Memorial Day, which was always called Decoration Day. I think I'll take my glasses off. You can see how I look without my glasses. Anyhow, Decoration Day, and we all got in the car with our dad, Daddy, and Mother, Dale, Francis, you, and I, and we went to Pendleton. And the purpose of that was to decorate the graves of my father's family back in Pendleton. But I remember the trip, and for kids, it was so much fun. It was about a 3-4 hour drive, and on the way over, we'd go past a place called the Penal Farm, and we would stop there and buy peonies, fresh cut peonies, to take to decorate the graves in Pendleton. And then we drove on and we went through Indianapolis, and you remember what we used to call the fishing worm district, and they had these little signs out in this very poor area where they sold worms. And some were called night crawlers, and then I remember one called little red worms, and they had these handmade signs out in front of the houses or along the street, and that was just part of the trip. Then as we got closer to Pendleton, we all watched to see who could see the reformatory first, because that was a great big institution, had a very tall chimney, and it was a game we played. I see the reformatory, and anybody wanted to be the first one to see the reformatory. Then we got there, and we stayed with Aunt Fanny. I know you remember Aunt Fanny. And then my father would go out and put flowers on different graves. And one of the big jokes that he had, Aunt Fanny already had a gravestone prepared out in the cemetery. So Daddy would get a bunch of old, instead of flowers, a bunch of old weeds and put them on Aunt Fanny's grave, her grave to be. And that was just a big joke. And he and she were cousins and just loved to kid each other. They grew up together and lived together with the rest of the family, even though they were cousins. And I'm sure that you remember how much Aunt Fanny loved we kids and liked to do things for us and used to write letters to us. And she was a school teacher and actually out in Topeka, Kansas, and then came back home to Pendleton every summer. So those are just some of the things I remember, and maybe you can remember some things to tell back to me, or have Phil or somebody tell back to me. But I'm hoping that you get to see this, because I want you to know your little brother remembers you and thinks about you a lot and loves to talk with you. So this probably is as far as I can go today, but maybe more later on.